This is 16-year-old Michael Bever.
So did you use your crossbow at all?
No, the only time I ever hurt anybody.
Christopher was his 10-year-old brother who died suffering 21 wounds. What drives two brothers, Michael and Robert Bever, to turn their suburban home into a scene of unimaginable horror?
The crime that he has committed is so horrendous, so horrific, and so devastating.
To protect their weapons, the Bever brothers killed 5 family members.
So did you guys have a goal? Did you have a number?
He just wanted, I think he wanted to kill like 50.
Okay.
I have a goal.
In this video, we unravel the chilling story of the Bever family.
Community remembers a family murdered in their own home.
A vigil was held at the home of the Bevers where 5 people last week.
Where a quest for fame led to a night of terror that left a once loving family shattered forever.
I looked over and noticed Michael Bever crying in his chair. One of his attorneys actually gave him a tissue and a hug. He got emotional during the medical examiner's testimony when he went one by one.
Brace yourself for a deep dive into the twisted minds behind one of the most shocking family tragedies in recent history.
Was that the plan, was to kill her too, though?
We just want to kill everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're uncovering the dark and twisted tale of the Bever family, a seemingly ordinary household in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, that became the scene of a gruesome massacre.
It's just shocking and frightening.
Join us as we explore how 2 brothers, fueled by a sinister obsession, shattered their family's world in a night of unimaginable horror. So, back in '87, David and April decided to tie the knot. April was just 15 at the time, and David was 23. Before you know it, they ended up with a bustling brood of 7 kids, 4 boys and 3 girls. Meet Robert, Michael, Daniel, Christopher, Victoria, Crystal, and the youngest of the bunch, Autumn. Usually with the burden of that many kids so early meant financial difficulties for the young couple, but the Bevers were well off. The Bevers were the quintessential keep-to-themselves kind of family. You'd usually find them in their cozy abode at 709 Magnolia Court, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, a home worth $245,000. They owned a large house, and every child old enough to own a cell phone had a cell phone. Every child had their own personal laptop.
I also found out that Minecraft is compatible with Windows 8. I heard. I don't know how reliable that is, but it turns out it's just my laptop is a compact I've had for about 4 years, and its graphics drivers are hopelessly outdated, so...
That's Robert, the oldest of the lot, complaining like any teenager would at his age. The kids had all the luxuries in the house, from expensive gaming consoles to nice clothes. April took charge of homeschooling all the kids, while David, a tech consultant with HP, worked from home. They seemed pretty normal on the surface, but they weren't exactly the life of the party types, more like preferring their own company. The Bevers were involved in a homeschool association where they went out and made field trips. They were all part of a bowling league. They were a tight-knit family that was highly immersed into each other's lives. Despite being described as generally quiet and reserved, April was an active member of the Reddit community under the username Aokimom, often sharing her experiences of homeschooling and parenting. April Bever spent a lot of time on the internet, as did her sons Robert and Michael. April often searched for educational resources online to aid in her children's learning. On Reddit, April openly shared anecdotes about her family, offering glimpses into their daily lives. Her posts often revolved around her children, such as her excitement over their reactions on Christmas morning or fond memories like Robert's early aversion to having his nails painted at the age of 3. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly ordinary family lay darker secrets. David the father ruled the household with an iron fist. His abusive behavior towards his children, both physically and verbally, cast a shadow over the Bever household, turning a seemingly large, happy family home into a prison.
Do you guys not like your mom and dad? I mean, have they, most teenagers don't like their parents, so I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, mom was okay, but dad was a little bit,
Just a little bit too much.
Yes.
Children have a remarkable quality of molding themselves quite well to survive in any situation, And that's exactly what the 7 kids in the family did. They adapted, but they won't remain children forever. Among the children, Robert, the eldest, wanted to be famous, to make it big on YouTube. Eager to escape the confines of his isolated lifestyle, Robert saw YouTube as his ticket to freedom and self-expression.
Salute. Hey everyone, it's me, Cult Empire. In case you didn't know, you found me by accident. Or you're expecting someone else. You do that. Why would you do that? Anyway, this is the second first ever update, which I think is a major improvement. I tried a news report theme last time. That's not very vloggy, is it? So I'm being a little more chillinated, writing stuff, scripting. I'm going to make my first skit soon. Can't show you a sneak preview or it would ruin it.
And he wasn't alone in his aspirations. Someone else was also growing up, and his younger brother Michael would play a pivotal role in helping him realize his dreams.
My brother lost his Ultimate Survival World because of the 0.6.0 Pocket Edition world saving glitch. It was awesome. The whole world had been mined out. It was a full-blown city with streets and neighborhoods and a big city center with skyscrapers and hot dog vendors and mimes and pollution.
He goes by the name of Cult Empire on YouTube. He seems like a nice kid with a good sense of humor and a likable personality. Alright, so Robert and Michael Bever were practically joined at the hip. Now Michael has a screen name too. He was the Swifty Bee. As the 2 oldest kids, they were like 2 peas in a pod. They'd stay up late together creating skits, and it was during this time they found something on the internet. They were particularly fixated on a dark corner of the internet, stories about serial killers and school shootings. When 13-year-old Crystal caught wind of what her brothers were up to and told her mom, April, she was dismissed with a shrug. Boys will be boys. Despite everything seeming fine, tensions simmered within the Bever family, hidden behind closed doors. As Robert pursued his dreams of YouTube fame, little did anyone know that the path he chose would lead to a night of unspeakable horror, forever altering the lives of all who crossed his path. Then, late on the night of July 22, 2015, around 11:30 p.m., everyone at the Bever house was asleep when dispatchers in Broken Arrow received a 911 call.
Broken Arrow 911. Hello? Hi, where are you at? Are you the only one there?
No, my brother's attacking my family.
Your dad is attacking your family?
No, my brother.
The audio was a bit fuzzy, but you could make out a young voice, almost a whisper saying, "My brother's attacking my family."
He has an idea stealing me. Oh, millions of people now. Oh my God. No, my God.
Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, what's going on there? What's going on there? Hello? Hello?
The dispatcher initially thought it was father, but after some back and forth, an older man's voice chimed in with a hesitant hello before fading away. Then came the scream, some muffled words, and click, the call ended. Authorities swiftly tracked the call to the Bever household at 709 Magnolia Court, Broken Arrow. Attempting to reach out again got them nowhere, so they dispatched the police immediately. In no time, officers were on the scene, blood inside and faint cries echoing through the walls.
When they arrived, they observed on the front of the house and heard some faint noises from inside the house.
They busted down the locked door to find 13-year-old Crystal Bever, barely clinging to life. She managed to whisper that her brother Robert had attacked her. With a sense of urgency, the police called for an ambulance, rushing Crystal to the hospital. Her survival was touch and go, but the nightmare didn't end there. As the police combed through the house, they discovered the 2-year-old unharmed upstairs. But downstairs, David, April, and 3 of their kids, Daniel, Christopher, and Victoria, are gone. It was clear who they were after 18-year-old Robert. The search led to a dramatic chase, with K-9 units closing in on the fugitive. The dogs caught up to them in the woods pretty quickly, only to find out it was Michael, covered in blood and dirt. Turns out, he wasn't just an innocent bystander. He was knee-deep in the crime.
And where is your body armor now?
All my vests and my helmets, it was lying in the woods. The dog pulled it off of me.
Oh,
I was wearing it.
Oh, you were wearing it?
Yeah, I was wearing this vest and the plate cap.
Okay.
Robert, lurking in the woods with a knife, surrendered without a fight. Both brothers spilled the beans, admitting to the killings. Charged with multiple counts of murder, Robert and Michael found themselves behind bars without bail. Meanwhile, Crystal, against all odds, pulled through. She bravely faced the grim task of identifying her siblings' bodies. The news of this gruesome family tragedy shook Broken Arrow to its core, a tight-knit community now grappling with unthinkable horror. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect this tragedy had on Broken Arrow. In every dark tale, there's a glimmer of bravery, a beacon of hope. That's Crystal Bever in this heartbreaking saga, enduring surgery and then summoning the strength to face the unimaginable by identifying her siblings. She's nothing short of extraordinary. Picture this, a 13-year-old going through the unimaginable, standing tall in the face of unspeakable horror. This crime shook the entire city to its core. As the legal wheels turned, justice swiftly followed for the Bever family. Robert Bever didn't put up much of a fight, admitting guilt to all charges and receiving 6 life sentences. In prison, he wore his crimes like badges of honor, tattooing reminders of his heinous acts on his hands. Michael's path through the legal system took a different turn. Despite pleas from his defense team, he faced trial as an adult and was found guilty on all counts. His punishment, 5 consecutive life sentences for the murders and additional years for his assault on Crystal. During the trial, chilling details emerged, painting a grim picture of a premeditated plan hatched between the two brothers, far removed from a spur-of-the-moment tragedy. As we delve deeper into the circumstances surrounding the Bever family tragedy, it's crucial to consider not only the actions of the brothers, but also the societal factors that may have influenced their behavior. The glorification of violence and the normalization of disturbing ideologies must be addressed collectively to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Let's delve into the chilling details of their twisted plan. It all began on June 30th, 2015, a month before the fateful night. Robert was particularly fixated on a dark corner of the internet. Columbine, James Holmes, the Aurora shooting. Those were like celebrity gossip to him. Michael and Robert were all in, idolizing these guys like they were rock stars. While most kids were dreaming of being astronauts or firefighters, Robert and Michael were fantasizing about being up there with the big-name shooters. They wanted to take it even further, like a twisted road trip of chaos and mayhem.
You know, I just kind of got thrown into this, so I was hoping maybe you could kind of just go back at the beginning when all this started and kind of tell me what happened, because I need kind of the details so we know and understand what you went through and stuff.
Okay, from the very start, 2 months ago.
Okay.
Is when we first really started talking.
So when you say we, who are you talking about?
Me and my other brother is also.
Your brother?
Yeah, who has to do with me.
And what's his name?
Robert Bever.
Robert? Okay. And how old is he?
18.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sorry.
A couple months ago, I think back to the start of this year, we started talking about voodoo and rampage and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I didn't take it seriously at first, but then he started buying like a body armor and stuff.
Where did he buy body armor from?
eBay and Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, legal.
Does he have a job?
He did at Mike Tech. He quit at the start of the year. And basically, it just kept escalating. He kept getting burned, and he asked if I wanted any, and I said yes, so he got me my own set.
Oh, okay.
Michael revealed that Robert had harbored dark thoughts about wiping out their family long before that. Their secluded lifestyle, with no friends outside their siblings, fostered an environment where their macabre fantasies thrived. During a late-night conversation, the brothers unearthed their shared fascination with darkness. Robert's fixation on knives and gruesome films, along with his stash of weaponry, set the stage for their sinister scheme.
And then about a month, about like June 30th, is when he came to me and said he found out that he can legally buy guns without permit in Oklahoma, that he could.
Okay.
And that's when he started planning. And
did you, now you said he bought body armor, but you kind of said like a bunch of stuff. Did he buy, what else did he buy besides body armor?
Besides body armor, knives, and he was in the middle of buying guns and ammunition.
I see, okay.
Right, and he bought two Glock 41s, and a shotgun, I forget, it's like a Moss boot, I think. Bought the Glock stuff with a website called Buds Shop, I think.
Okay.
And he bought the Moss boot off of the official website and then had them shipped to, like, Okinawa gun clubs. So they were actually right now waiting for him.
So they were shipped to
a gun shop.
Here in Broken Arrow?
Yep.
Okay.
And
The guns, however, posed a logistical hiccup due to their age. Unable to procure them legally, they improvised, switching gears to knives. But as soon as he turned of legal age, he started buying guns.
So he was buying weapons because you guys had talked about.
And he started planning it.
Okay.
And I went along with it because I see the other way I thought I wouldn't want to do it. I very quickly learned tonight that I didn't.
Okay, that you didn't want to do it?
I don't want to do it. I didn't, just because I didn't kill anyone.
Okay.
I stabbed someone.
Who did you stab?
My younger brother, Christopher.
They faced a significant obstacle, the imminent arrival of guns and a large amount of ammunition at their home. This posed a threat, a risk of discovery by their parents. So, they chose a night when their family would be least suspecting, asleep in their beds.
And so
how'd you pick the date?
It involved with the packages and stuff would be out. Because, you know, all the ammunition, he didn't want them to see that. So he killed him the day before the ammunition would get out, the day after they would leave.
Before he his 9-year-old brother Christopher on the night of the murders, as most of the household slept, Crystal, the 13-year-old sister, stumbled upon her brothers gearing up in body armor, a scene not entirely unfamiliar to her.
It was closed.
Did you have, how long have you had the body armor?
Body armor? Robert's had his probably since the start of the year, and we've been buying it. Well, he's been buying it.
And was it shipped to the house?
Yeah.
Do your parents know? I mean, did they know it?
They knew he had bulletproof vests. They always thought that was a little wild, but they didn't say anything about it.
Did he have anything else like the gear that the guys wear, helmets or goggles or gloves?
He had a soft Kevlar vest, a heavy, I don't know, it's like a metal plated vest.
Okay.
What caught Crystal off guard was Michael's chilling question. Should we do it right now? Before she could process, Robert silenced her with a swift,
my sister, she came in because she was going to go to bed. She came in to tell us.
How old is
13.
Okay.
She came in to tell us that Mom wanted us to get the kitchen done before we went to bed and put the cats up. And basically, we did what we planned. I got to my desk, and I had to look at something to this guy.
Really? What did he use?
His large red knife.
Their plan hit a snag when Crystal refused to succumb to her injuries. In a desperate bid for survival, she fled, enduring multiple as she sought refuge. It was a stark reminder that their twisted fantasies had spiraled into a gruesome reality, shattering the boundaries of sanity.
Well, mainly two reasons, I think. It's because he just, says he hates everyone. He thinks society is pointless, and so he wanted to kill people.
Yeah,
and also he wanted to, beat the kill, amount of other famous people like Columbine and James Egan Holmes.
Okay. Did you kind of feel that way too, when you guys were talking earlier,
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with society too, do you think?
No, I just...
Or you were just more like the number of people getting killed was kind of interesting and exciting?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because you mentioned a couple names of, are those serial killers or something?
What, Columbine?
Yeah.
When someone like Michael references a mass shooter in such detail, it raises questions about where he obtained that information and what drove him to identify with such violent individuals. We are forced to grapple with the enigma of their psyche, questioning how one could conceive such horrors. Robert and Michael's descent into darkness underscores the allure of true crime, our perpetual quest to comprehend the incomprehensible. Their heinous act, perpetrated against their own kin, adds another layer of horror. To betray those who nurtured you, who shaped your existence, is an unfathomable betrayal. It defies rationality, plunging us into the depths of despair and disbelief. Robert and Michael Bever aren't the only individuals whose actions seem to have been influenced by the Columbine school shooting. As the nightmarish ordeal unfolded, April, the boy's mother, became the next target. While Michael dragged Crystal back inside, Robert unleashed a frenzied attack on April.
So, your mom went to say and where did her?
I think, no, actually, he's pushed her into the kitchen and together. So Theo, she started screaming and ran into the family.
April's screams echoed through the house as she endured around wounds, mainly concentrated on her upper body. Crystal's testimony painted a harrowing picture of Robert's relentless pursuit, indicating both boys had a hand in her mother's demise. Robert callously claimed that his mother prayed aloud as he ended her life. The agony of realizing her children were turning on her likely paralyzed her, leaving her unable to fight back or flee. The chaos woke the other children, who sought refuge in terror. 10-year-old Christopher and 5-year-old Victoria huddled in a locked bathroom, only to fall victim to Michael's manipulative plea for help. Their innocent act of opening the door sealed their fate.
Daniel and Christopher locked himself in the bathroom, Daniel locked himself in Dad's office.
Okay.
And then I finally got both of them to open the door because they thought I wanted in there.
But they were in different rooms?
Yeah, they're right next to each other. Right?
Oh, I see.
Next, the brothers targeted their father's home office, where 12-year-old Daniel sought shelter. Despite Daniel's desperate plea for mercy, Michael's deceitful tactic of invoking Robert's threat persuaded him to open the door. Daniel's call for help turned into a death sentence as Michael seized the opportunity to betray him, allowing Robert to unleash a barrage of fatal blows. Michael's manipulative ploy to gain entry into the rooms where his siblings hid, it's a chilling reminder of how trust can be weaponized. His cunning exploitation of their love and concern underscores the depths of depravity they faced. Upon discovering the carnage, David Bever, their father, stepped into the fray, only to meet a brutal end at the hands of his own son.
And then that's about the time Dad came down,
okay,
because his bedroom's upstairs, and he went back in the boys' area where Robert was. The boys' area, that's what they call it, our room. And they started attacking Dad. They got a little bit of a fight, but then eventually Robert got him down. And
where did that happen?
in our room.
In your room?
Yeah.
And where were you?
I was standing in the hallway.
Okay.
With the police closing in, Michael and Robert fled into the wilderness, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror. It was evident that Robert and Michael hadn't anticipated any resistance from their family, nor had they prepared for the possibility of their victims seeking help.
And it seems to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I would think that as you guys plan this out, you had maybe more specific plans, like Robert was going to kill this person.
Yeah.
Their murderous rampage came to an abrupt halt when the police intervened, foiling their gruesome plans.
And that was a knock at the door.
Okay.
Someone knocked at the door. I think that might have been the neighbor, because the police wouldn't have been there yet. And then they just kept knocking on the door, so we turned around. I grabbed on, put my soft vest and heavy vest on. I was carrying the plates. I put my helmet on. And then we went out the back door of Dad's office, climbed over the fence, went down into the park, and started cutting through the woods.
Okay.
We both collapsed. I think so. We were just sitting there, and they found us.
That's how you got kind of dirty and stuff, dirt on you. Yeah. So you guys collapsed. Were you just kind of hiding out?
Yeah, we were just laying in a little ditch thing in the woods, and then we saw the light and we lay down, and the dog came over.
Did you hear the dog coming?
Mm-hmm. I heard them coming. I saw them coming, and then they started yelling. put your hands up. And then I stepped on my head and handcuffed me.
Okay.
What they had in mind was beyond ghastly. They aimed to systematically each family member, then their bodies and store them in plastic bins in the attic.
So when y'all got done at the house, where were you gonna go?
We were going to hang out there for at least the day. We were going to get the bodies in a room or something in the attic. Clean up and then wait for the ammunition, go pick up the guns, and then go leave the next day.
Even their 2-year-old sister, Autumn, wasn't spared from their macabre scheme.
Was that the plan, was to kill her too, though?
We just want to kill everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the arrival of law enforcement prevented this unspeakable horror from unfolding, sparing Autumn from their depraved intentions. But their bloodlust didn't stop at their family's doorstep. They harbored extravagant visions of inflicting mass killing on the public, aspiring to become infamous mass murderers. Robert's delusions of greatness, like to those of the Columbine shooters, fueled their twisted urge for notoriety. In their warped minds, they believed they were purging society of its undesirables, a notion as grotesque as it is disturbing.
Did you guys have, like were you gonna go, I mean, who else were you gonna kill? Just whoever you ran into?
Yeah, pretty much. He said 5 at a time, like gas stations, restaurants.
Okay, and then just keep going.
Yep.
It's clear that Robert and Michael's minds were consumed by darkness, their thoughts veering into the abyss of depravity. Their meticulous planning revealed a chilling level of premeditation. This was no impulsive act, but a meticulously orchestrated atrocity. Robert Bever pleaded guilty to all charges and received 6 life sentences.
The older brother, Robert Bever, pleaded guilty in September and took a plea deal that spared his life. He's serving life without the possibility of parole.
He is serving life without the possibility of parole. Michael's path through the legal system took a different turn.
And it's our belief that they're going to find Michael is in a different position than Robert. The 2 boys are very different, and that's what the trial's about.
Despite pleas from his defense team, he faced trial as an adult and was found guilty on all counts. Crystal was 16 when she testified in court. At the time of the incident, she was just 13. She testified via live video from another courtroom. She described their house as big, with playrooms full of toys. She shared a room with her younger sister, while Michael and Robert shared a room. She mentioned that both brothers were quiet and secretive together. Crystal said that Michael talked about serial killers at least once a day and seemed to admire them. Although she thought he was joking when he said he could hurt someone, she still told her mom about it. Crystal's testimony shed light on the brothers' sinister intentions, their year-long obsession with mass, and their disdain for humanity. Tragically, her attempts to alert her parents to their disturbing behavior were dismissed as mere adolescent antics. The gravity of their words and the alarming nature of their fantasies were overlooked, a failure that would have dire consequences. Navigating such murky waters as a parent is fraught with uncertainty. The line between adolescent rebellion and genuine danger is often blurred. Yet when faced with such disturbing revelations, seeking professional help becomes imperative. It's a heartbreaking reminder that sometimes the signs of impending tragedy are there, begging for attention, but tragically overlooked. Reflecting on this tragedy, it's evident that the consequences of dismissing warning signs can be catastrophic. While hindsight offers clarity, the path forward is fraught with uncertainty and difficult decisions. As we grapple with the aftermath of this horrific event, we're reminded of the importance of vigilance and proactive intervention in safeguarding our loved ones from the perils of darkness.
So here's a problem that we might have, and I don't want it to be an issue for you because you've been really cooperative. We're going to talk to Robert too. So he's going to give us his version of the story, and sometimes they're going to be different. So is there anything that you kind of didn't quite tell me right, or you changed a little bit, and now that you understand that Robert's going to tell me everything?
But he'll probably tell you that he'll forgive them, because that's what I told him, you know, when we were sitting out in the woods. We had to make conversation. But, you know, forensics will show you this guy, Christopher.
What 3?
What do you mean you told him? So you told him you killed 3 people?
Yeah, I told him, because he asked me how many did you get. I said 3.
Did you tell him who you got?
No, I just said 3.
So do you, I guess this is my question for you. Do you think it's a lesser sentence if you killed 1 or if you killed 3?
3 police officers and 2 firefighters from Broken Arrow shared what they saw inside the Bever house that night. Some even talked about their interactions with Michael Bever after he was arrested. The first officer to arrive at the house was the first to testify. He was the one who brought Michael to his patrol car after catching him. This officer said Michael was emotionless, flat, and stoic. Michael even said, "I hope they're okay," about the people inside the house. One firefighter mentioned that he thinks about that night every single day, and it really stands out in his memory. When gruesome photos of the family members were shown in the courtroom, emotions ran high among everyone present. Another witness called to testify was the 911 dispatcher who took the call that night from one of the younger brothers. She got very emotional when they played back the tape. When the tape played, it was the first time Michael Bever showed emotion in the courtroom. He cried, his hands shook, and he wiped his eyes. He also showed some emotion when he heard his younger sister testify about the attack.
Keep in mind that this is his family, and he's hearing about the very difficult details, and I think sometimes attorneys and people in the courtroom lose sight of that he's a person. He lost members of his family, and it is emotional for him.
During the trials, both Robert and Michael displayed an unexpected emotional side, shedding tears as they testified.
I looked over and noticed Michael Bever crying in his chair. One of his attorneys actually gave him a tissue and a hug. He got emotional during the medical examiner's testimony.
Robert in particular broke down, expressing remorse and claiming full responsibility for the killings.
Robert Bever wrapped up his testimony today by saying he ultimately didn't testify just to help his brother. He says he came here to tell the truth no one had heard before now.
He went as far as to shield his brother Michael, stating that Michael wasn't directly involved in the murders, but merely assisted in gaining access to their hiding siblings. Robert's attempt to absolve his brother of guilt raised questions about his motives. Was it out of genuine concern for Michael, or a bid for notoriety? This perplexing display of emotion left many pondering the true nature of their relationship and motivations.
Did you guys talk about being on the news and getting to see each other on TV and stuff?
Yeah.
What kind of things did you say and talk about?
We become famous, we get on Wikipedia lists.
Oh, okay.
People.
Robert, Michael, and Crystal all testified in court, confirming the abuse they all had to endure at the hands of their parents, especially their father. Their testimony revealed a troubled family dynamic, with claims of abuse and neglect. Crystal recounted instances of domestic violence, including her father's violent outbursts towards her mother and siblings. Furthermore, the brutality of the murders, especially towards their younger siblings, seemed incongruent with any purported motive stemming from familial discord. The perplexing question remained: if their parents were indeed abusive, why target their innocent siblings in such a horrific manner? Despite being homeschooled and isolated from the outside world, the Bever children's cries for help went unheard, their suffering concealed behind closed doors.
Michael was very isolated. The characteristics of his upbringing are obviously part of the trial, and we're going to keep developing that with witnesses that have information, and we're going to try to tell that story the best we can.
In March 2017, the house on Magnolia, where the murders occurred, was consumed by fire.
The next-door neighbor tells me she saw a car pull up in the driveway around 1:30 and then a truck pull up behind it a short time after. When they both left, that's when she saw smoke.
The charred remnants of the house were demolished, and in its place, Reflection Park was established as a tribute to the Bever family.
I think it's awesome. It's beautiful if you come out at night and look at it. It's quite a scene. and I get to look at it every day.
The aspiration is for this park to serve as a sanctuary for joyous memories, untainted by the shadows of the past. On July 15, 2019, Robert Bever, by then in his 20s, perpetrated another act of violence. This time, he attacked a psychological clinician and a social worker in the day room of Joseph Harp Correctional Center, attempting to with a makeshift weapon. Fortunately, the staff managed to overpower Robert and disarm him. Thankfully, neither of the staff members sustained serious injuries in the attack. Robert Bever was met with no leniency from the justice system, receiving additional life sentences that will run concurrently with his existing ones. However, given the gravity of his crimes, this sentencing was merely a formality. Regardless of perspective, Robert Bever's fate remains the same. He will spend the remainder of his life behind bars. On the other hand, Michael Bever's behavior appears to have been relatively subdued since his incarceration, as there has been no recent news about him from behind bars. Crystal and Autumn, the survivors of that fateful night, were both adopted by the same family. Since then, there has been little information about their well-being, likely to afford them privacy and time to heal from the unimaginable trauma they endured. Many questions linger. How did Michael become ensnared in Robert's dark fantasies? Why did David and April seemingly ignore troubling signs from their sons? These questions may never be fully answered, but they serve as poignant reminders of the complexities of human nature and familial dynamics. The Bever family tragedy is a stark reminder of the importance of recognizing the signs of deep-seated issues within our loved ones. It shows us how unchecked obsessions and reclusive behavior can spiral into devastating actions. As a society, we need to foster open communication and provide mental health support to prevent such horrors from unfolding. Let's learn from this heartbreaking story and work together to create a safer, more understanding world. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit from hearing this story. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into true crime cases and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. What do you think society can do to prevent tragedies like this? Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.